Fun. I just thought I'd jump in here today and talk about a subject that I get a lot of questions about. I've had three in the last week about commissions and how hard they are and how awful they are. And generally, everyone I talk to doesn't like doing them. And a commission is simply, when someone hires you to do a piece of art for their home or office, and because they've seen something you love, and they want it in a different size or whatever. And this, for me and practically everyone I talk to, they can be so hard, and they are some of the most painful experiences for artists. But I figured out some ways, some workarounds that I think could be helpful, and I just wanted to talk to you about them today. I'll share a few of them. There's 5 kind of points to this that if you keep these in mind, it can really make this much more be much more successful. So, hey, Elise, nice to see you here. Pascal, nice to see you. Okay, so here's the problem with the commission and why they're so hard is we're not used to working with people looking over our shoulders. We're not used to making work. It's hard enough to make it, figuring out what we want to do. But if we feel somebody else in the room with us talking about like, oh, maybe change this or change that, it gets really hard and it's not fun. You can't actually make great work when you're thinking someone's looking over your shoulder, when you're trying to not think like yourself. Everything I teach, the whole process, everything is about getting inside of yourself and getting more clear and really operating from that inside place. A commission is an invitation and a slippery slope to letting somebody else come into your thinking, and therein lies the problem. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Hey, Zoe, Aaron, Tom, nice to see you, Kate. Hi, Valerie. So let me know in the comments if you guys, if you love commissions or if you have any trouble with it. But I think I'm actually pretty on it with this. I mean, I do talk to a lot of people about it, and they are hard for that very reason. So I'm gonna go over the things that I do, the process that I use, because I love doing commissions now. I do them, and I can do them, and I can pull it off. It's incredible because the chances are that you're making a painting and it's gonna be the right size. It just so happens that if you just make your art and it's a 6-foot painting or a 3-foot painting, the chances someone's gonna love it, and it's going to be the right size, and it's going to be, the right proportions. That's hard, right? That's why it's kind of hard to sell the art. And that's why you often need other people involved in selling your art. You need someone sitting there in a gallery or actively showing it to people till you make that connection with that buyer. But so commissions actually can be a fantastic addition to your income stream and a whole other thing. So let me dive into this a little bit. So the problem is that someone's looking over your shoulder and that makes it just so hard to do this. But the solution, so this is how I go about it. First of all, I ask the person who's interested, first things first, you want to ask them this question. You want to say, what 5 paintings or 5 sculptures or whatever, what 5 sculptures of mine do you love that has the feeling, and the feeling is the right word, has the feeling of the work that you're interested in commissioning? Now, it's important to ask this question, and it's important to ask it in that way, because when you're asking for 5 pictures, immediately you're removing it from the zone of, I saw that blue painting you did, and I want to have you do another one just like it. Now, some people can do that. I don't, and I know that's a frustration thing. If you want to just copy a painting you've made in the past and make it smaller or bigger, this isn't really for you. You can just do that as an exercise. It's not that fun. I'm talking about how do you do a commission in a way that actually moves the needle for you, moves the ball down the field in terms of developing your work. Like, we want this commission to be better than the rest of your work. It wants to fit into your practice and also, solve the problem of that they want a certain kind of thing. So asking that client, what are the 5 paintings you love, immediately gets them into this zone of like, here's a group of pictures, and it takes the specifics. You're not pointing at one thing, and I would advise not pointing at one thing. Say you need to have 5. Okay. So the next thing you need to do is the conversation. It's really about setting expectations here. It's super, super important, because what we have to end up at the end of the day, once you've like received money, you need to feel free in your studio. You need to feel the same way you do when you're making your art, as if no one's there, as if no one's going to buy this or whatever. You need to be free. And so setting expectations and clarifying for your client is really important. And you do it like this. You say, each painting I make, and I'm just saying painting, I could be sculpture, whatever, but each painting I make, they're always different, because I'm always different. What I did, I know you love that thing I made 3 months ago, and it's very connected to the work I love doing. And I agree with you. You've chosen an amazing piece of my work. But when I remake it again, my intention is to make it even better. And yes, I need to know, what colors you love and the things that you love, and it will be in the range of what you've seen. But each painting is different. And I just want you to understand that that's the only way I can guarantee that the work and my engagement in it and the thing is going to come, the painting is going to come out even better or as good as what you've seen in the past. That's my commitment. This is art making. I don't do baskets that are the same over and over again. And I just want to make sure you understand that. Right then and there, if they are wanting a duplication of something smaller, you can decide yes or no, you can do it or not. I don't do it. I don't waste my time doing that. That doesn't serve me in terms of me progressing. I want to learn something on this commission. I don't want to just be following rules. I mean, I did illustration for years, and I know all about doing that. It's like we're not. We need to learn as we go, right? So, okay. So, yeah, I'm just reading here. Augusta, I only take them if I say I will do them the way I want. I can sell it to someone else and tell them at the outset. The payoff is that they love it forever. You get it right. Yes. Yes, right. Zoe, I know, right? See, it undermines your confidence when you're doing this thing, because you start wondering, oh, are they going to like it and everything? So, okay, so you set that expectation. If you're clear up front, that gives you a lot of freedom, right? So it's like they already know, one, it's going to be different. It's going to be connected and have similar feelings to 5 paintings, right? So you've got that understood. The third point is you need to get an upfront deposit, 30%, 33%, 50%. That's what I do. What we're trying to do is not waste your time. We need to weed out the tire kickers from someone who's ready to go on this. So all of this that I just did can be in an email, right? It's like, if you're interested, I'm super excited. The next step is, here's a PayPal link for the deposit. This is the price, and it's 33% upfront. And that's so they're serious about it. That's just really, really important. Time is the most valuable thing you have. You don't want to spend a lot of time going down the road with someone who's not really sure. The people who aren't like gung-ho, super fired up about what you do, they're the ones who you can't please. You've got to weed out the people you can't please. Otherwise, you're not going to please them, and it's a friggin' nightmare. And that's why this commission thing can go upside down so quickly. I know you guys know this. Okay, so first thing, what 5 pieces do you love of mine? That's really cool. And it's good to get that feedback, right? So already you're getting information, and you're getting to, like, I like to think of this commission process as it's helpful for you. So you're getting some cool information for free. Someone's giving you some good feedback, like they say, oh, all your paintings are so wild. Here's the 5 I like. You get feedback, which is really, really good. And then you have to set expectations about that each painting's better than the next, and it's different. And my intention is to make you love this. I want you to receive the painting that I love the most, right? And I know if I can pull this off, if I achieve this, that you will love it too. And that's really, really an important point. So that's second point. And the third thing is you get the deposit, and you don't start until that's deposited into your account and they're all ready to go. Now, okay. The fourth thing is you need to, and this is super important because it connects to this third point about, because they say, well, this is how I do it. I don't say that there is a money back guarantee, or that if you don't like it, I'll change it until you do. I don't do any of that. I just tell them that I do a lot of these commissions. I've never had an issue of someone not loving it. But I assure them that, and this is true, that I am not going to be happy if you, client, ends up with a painting of mine that you do not like. Like, that doesn't happen. I need to put my art in the hands of people that love it. So regardless, that's kind of my guarantee. So you talk about your track record, you talk about, like, that's kind of the guarantee. Now, here's the important thing on this fourth point. So you talk about those things, but you don't open up I don't do this. I don't say that I'll refund your money or anything. I want them fully committed, and I want them to do this, because people change their minds. They deposit, and it could take 6 weeks to do this. And by the time they come, their daughter's getting married and they need money for that, and they just bail on you, so we don't want that to happen. So you need them going into this, that they are fully committed. Now, and you've intimated that you're going to make damn sure that they love it, and you've never had a problem in the past. Like, you've always pulled this off. But here's the thing, and this is the agreement you need to make with yourself. In order to be free, right? In order to be free when you're making when you're making your work in the studio, this is all setting you up for in your studio to pull this off. You need to say to yourself that you have to make this painting in a way that you love it, in a way that you do not want to even sell it. You love it so much. This work, this commission has to be, the bar is even higher. You got to love this for yourself. And you have to be totally fine with telling this client once you're done, because you love it so much, that, dude, it's fine. If you don't like it, no worries, I'll refund you, because you can sell it in another venue. It's a super, super strong work. It's going to sell. That's how I do this. Like, I don't make work that I don't love. And I know that if I love it, and this is really true for all of us, if you really make, when you get that work, when you get it to a place that's really good, that that's going to be one of the ones that are going to sell. I mean, it might not sell right away, but I mean, I've had, that approach makes it so when I'm painting in the studio, I'm like, all I have to do, my goal is to love this. And if I have to change it or modify it a little bit from what, I know that they like that blue painting, I'll keep in the color vein of what this person liked, but it gives me freedom. The project goal is for me to love it, right? And that, if I do that, the rest will work, and they will love it. And in the slight chance they don't, then doesn't matter. You're still progressing your work. I don't advise taking commissions and doing something that doesn't progress you along. Like, if someone says, I love what you do, but can you do it more realistically? If that's not your jam, I would advise not to do it. Now, sometimes you just want to do something for the money, and then there's going to be work involved. I'm talking about how to do commissions so you love them and they don't feel like work. It just feels like your own practice, right? It's so cool that that's possible to do it this way. Now, so that's the sort of agreement you make with yourself. Now, also, the fifth point is, remember this. This is a collaboration. I used to always think, who is this guy? This guy in San Diego who, whatever, they don't have a clue. I would try to keep away from these people because I just want to be left alone to do my work. But now I have learned a lot from the feedback I've gotten from these people that love my work so much and they're willing to put some money down. Like, these are your raving fans, like someone who wants you to do a commission and they're putting money into it. These are people you can kind of listen to a little bit and be open to the feedback they give you. I'm not saying that they direct this. I'm just saying that it's kind of cool to, like, there's an opportunity here to open this process a little bit and have some fresh wind come into it and getting feedback. And I'm not suggesting sending the painting half done to the person and saying, what do you think? Don't do that. Do the whole thing to where you love it, but then get feedback from them. And like, I just did a commission and it was for a friend actually. And it was kind of embarrassing. He didn't totally like it so much, which was weird, but and I tried not to take it personally, but I kind of thought, this guy is so clueless. But the comments he made, actually, he was kind of right. And, it just took me a while. And then I changed the picture a lot and it came out much better. And I just, sometimes someone who doesn't even know about art can give you some information that you can use, right? So, this whole conversation right now is all about empowering yourself and looking within. But there is a person on the outside that you are kind of collaborating with. So if you can let some of that in, it sometimes can be helpful, right? So this commission thing is not a less than experience. It's just like your practice, but you have this added benefit of you're making money, literally, and you have some possibilities for some kind of feedback. And what I like to do is I like to ask questions from the person who's, not just like, where'd you see my work, but what does my work feel like to you? Or how would you describe my work to your friends? You get to have this little relationship. And, 2/3 of the way through the painting, or when I'm pretty much finished with it, I'll send them a JPEG. I don't send them the final painting. I send them a JPEG and say, here's the painting. I just wanted to show you. I'm super excited about it. And you have to be excited about it. You can't pretend, and ask questions about it. And they're like, oh, I love it. And it's like, well, give me some feedback about, how you found my work, or what you love about my work, or how does this make you feel compared to the other one? You've got this sort of like captive audience, and, where are you going to put this? And, so those are really great questions to kind of ask, to sort of, we're alone in our studios. That's the problem, sort of. And getting some outside input's kind of cool. It's not going to change how you make your work, but it does affect it somewhat. And as I said, I have learned some things. I used to just write off people that didn't make art. And now there's something to it. They're so objective. They have such a cool perspective that we can't possibly have. They say things, they use words to talk about your work that you would never, ever use. And those could be helpful, like in your bio or in describing your work. Ask them, what's the one sentence? Can you describe my work in 1 or 2 sentences? The way you write about, and I'm so excited that you're interested in my work, but that would be really helpful, right? So that's kind of cool. Okay, so hey, Debbie, nice to see you here. Lou, hi, Gwen, Sunny, Pat. Yeah, so Jackie, so she's asking about the non-refundable deposit. I say that I kind of hedge it, and I hate to be not clear. I want to say, no, it's non-refundable. But what I say to them is, yeah, it's really not refundable, but I have to have it so you love this painting. I have to love it first, and if I love it, you will love it. So it's like, it is not refundable, but you can have a person ending up buying a painting that they don't love. Believe me, that is, you do not want that to happen. So that's sort of my guarantee, right? And then inside, damn right it's refundable. Go away. Here's your money back if you don't get this. I'm not changed. I love this painting I made. Now, if they have a couple little minor tweaks and it doesn't wreck the painting, sure, do them. Big deal, But the main thing is that you feel free in your studio when you're making this. A lot of, and that, being free and it allows you to make amazing work. Like that's the whole thing we're talking about. For those of you who are new here, who will see this later, we are starting our free Art to Life workshop. If you want to go check that out, I'm going to be teaching some principles in this free workshop, and these make you free too. Like, you got to know your chops really well. Like, if you haven't painted before, I wouldn't suggest doing a commission because you're going to be pulling your hair out. But if you've got a process of working that works for you and you're pretty comfortable in it, and that's what this free workshop is about. You can get there by going to cvpworkshop.com. And Ferris will we'll drop a link in there in a second in the comments. That's what I'm going to be talking about, more the nuts and bolts of how you improve your work. And in the middle of doing that commission, it gets in a wrong place. How do you fix that? But all of this, everything I teach really is so you can be free in that workshop, in your studio, in the process that you are making your art. It's so frustrating to be making work where you're kind of into it and kind of not.
A2L.
Oh, that's right. A2Lworkshop.com. Oh, I had it written down right there. A2Lworkshop.com. Sorry, you guys. And Ferris will put it in the comments. So that's it. Those are the 5 sort of key points that I use to set myself up so I can be successful at this commission thing. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you guys have about that. But that's really it. That's worked for me. And believe me, I hated doing commissions. Okay, so Jean-Marie saying, I've been wanting to commission something for me for a while. Your enthusiasm and commitment is telling me you are a right man for the job. Oh, that's so sweet. This was, I wasn't thinking of trying to sell my work, but absolutely, right? Like, so, and Jean-Marie, you also want the cutting edge of what I love. Like, you want to collect people's work. You want the best work you can get, not some half-baked thing. I used to always do these commissions, and because I was so self-conscious, or I was so concerned about what the other person was going to think and everything, that they were never quite as good as what I did on my own on a Sunday afternoon in the studio. And the reason is because I wasn't entirely free. And this is the secret sauce to making great art. This is the whole thing. Free in the way you paint, in understanding color and design and value and texture and all those things. Like, you have them, you understand how to use them. And your process, you have a process of working that's pretty strong, and you can make mistakes and you can correct them. And even if you get into trouble, how to get unstuck, right? How to get unstuck in your work by yourself. Like, I get stuck all the time. Like, I just was working on this painting behind me, and you can see that big black thing there. It's not working. It's horrible. I know exactly what to do, right? I know how to get out of that problem. I know what's wrong with this painting. I got 2 big things, the blue thing and the black thing, that are the same size, and they're both feeling the same. One of them's got to go. I already know that ahead of time. Now, I don't know how this painting is going to totally turn out, but I know how to find my way in it. And that's really, and once you get that confidence, once you feel like you're able to access all this stuff, then guess what happens? Your soul, your inside of you, can express itself more easily. And then the work gets more authentic, and then it gets more powerful, and it gets more different than what's out there. And then there's all kinds of possibilities for you and your art, because people buy that kind of work, right? Or people are attracted to that kind of work, or people like to talk about that kind of work, or, so that's how that project of the commissions really goes. And I love doing them. So, okay, let's see, any other questions? Carla's saying, yeah, I'm working on an 8-foot piece right now and totally stressing it. I don't know if you're saying if you're loving it or not. So let us know, Carla, in the comments. Are you stressing about it? Because if so, I think this can help, right? We all know that if we're not free and we don't love it, it's not going to be as good. Now, a lot of times the client can't even tell, but this is between me and you guys, like in between artists. This is we know when we've nailed it. We know when it feels good. And that's what we have to have. And that's what they're paying for. It's that access to when we really love it, and that's when I started working that way, I was able to work and produce much, much better work. So the commissions now are like, they're the same as my paintings. It's just the same kind of thing. I might go down a corridor of a certain kind of work a little deeper on a commission, but I always do it and take them upon the condition that this is going to help me, not hurt me. It's going to help me financially, and that's cool, but that's not really the point. The big point is that you're organizing this thing, you're co-opting it so it can move you and your artwork down the field more. Cool, thanks for that, Arlene, that's great. So Carl's saying not love. Well, can you take a quick picture with your phone and stick it in here? I'm curious, like what's not, is it that you're stressing about it because it doesn't feel like what the client, you got in your mind, the client wants a certain thing and you're not doing it? Or is it just stuck, like, what you want to do, but it's not working? I'm just curious. So maybe if you want to stick a picture in there, we could look at it. Hey, Linan, nice to see you here. Okay, well, cool. So that was, that's what, nice. Thanks, Tom, for being here. Cool. Zoe saying she's about to start her first ever commission. Man, I wish I knew this stuff when I started doing them, because it would have saved me so much time, and so I'm super stoked, Zoe, that you saw this and that you can use some of this, because I would definitely use this. Hi, Penny, nice to see you here. So I'll give Carla just a couple minutes here. Does anyone have any questions or anything? I'm happy to answer in the comments about this. If you're enjoying doing this, or you don't like doing commissions or whatever. Otherwise, I'll hop off and get on with my day. But maybe I'll do that. Again, for those of you who are new here, check out the a2lworkshop.com. You can sign up it's our free workshop. I'm doing all these downloads for it this year, and I'm going to be doing a huge, it's free, and I'll be doing a huge live component, 3 live sessions as well that people can participate in. I'm going to be looking at people's work and stuff. So it's kind of grown this year a little bit, because we get so many people that do it. And this is the free workshop that leads up to our 12-week course. Most of you know that, but this is like the sampling teaching, but really it's about teaching, like we're really delivering some amazing stuff. And for those of you who are just starting out, I really strongly advise you to come to this thing, because it's super, super helpful. Okay, let's see here. Jean Murray saying, is it unfair to say to an artist, I don't care for red? Well, it's not unfair, but you have to be the gatekeeper, right? Like, but if they're looking at your work and they love the palette, and that's why asking them about those 5 paintings, they're all different colors. So, they can be like, I kind of like the colors in this and that. They like your color. It's your color sensibility. And that's where you want to direct them. It's not, do you like red? It's like, do you like Nicholas Wilton's color sensibility? That's what they're buying, is your color sensibility. And that's what you can deliver. So you get to say, and I strongly advise you be really discerning with these people, who gets to do it and who doesn't get to do it. Don't do it if it's somebody who you can tell is just going to be a headache. Okay, Lisa says, good. I'm glad that really reduces some stress. So Carla can't show the photo as it's first done digitally, then I transfer. She needs to okay the composed image first. Well, that's not a bad way to go. And I've done that before, Carla, where I've comped it a little bit. But for me, again, when you do the comp, they'll tend to like fall in love with the comp, but you have to say, this is going to change. This is and I love this word. I say, this is the feeling and kind of the look of what I'm doing. And again, this is going to change, but I wanted to, you let me know, blah, blah, blah. You're always talking about how it's going to be different. You're setting them up for it being different. And make that comp as small and kind of scratchy and grainy and crappy as you can. So when they get the JPEG, which will be bigger, make it kind of generous and make it really beautiful color, the comparison of where you were before and the comparison of where you end up with the painting is clearly the painting's better. Sometimes these comps look so good because you don't care, you're just whipping it out, and then your painting's not as good as the comp. So just be careful of that. Bubs J, hey, thanks as always. During my last commission, I painted 5 pieces for the clients to choose from. It was less stressful for me and the clients loved it. I ended up selling 2. Yeah, now I'm so glad you said this because I forgot. I mean, I should have written that down. I do that also sometimes. I'll do 2 paintings. Like, this isn't work. You don't think about, it's not that person that's making you do the work. It's you doing what you love, and doing 2 of them at the same time is a great idea. Super fun, really, really cool. And it'll blow them away. And the other thing that you want to do when you get this all done, and you definitely stay in touch with these people, but ask them, do they know some people like them that would want work like mine? And get their connections a little bit. If I could, I'd love to let them know that, that I just did a commission with you. And if you have any friends, because you're my ideal client, Mr. Whoever or Mrs. Whoever, right? Hey, Deborah, nice to see you here. Hi, Zandra. Yeah, Carla's saying, I guess I just want her to love it. It's done through a gallery, so I've never met the buyer, so I'm relying on intuition. Yeah, so Carla, when at the middle of the night, at 2 in the morning, you just have to love it. She will love it if you love it, and if you love it, that will make you feel more free, right? It's hard. It's like the chicken or the egg. If you can love it, and if that's what you focus on, don't think about her loving it, the fact that she liked these other pictures. Just, keep loosely in your memory of what they talked about, but more importantly, how you are loving this and how this piece is actually going to take you in new directions. Like, you got to be really excited about it. So when you send that JPEG, it's like, I am so excited about this painting I made for you. And what's so cool is that this has opened up some really new possibilities for my work. Like, I had never used this color in the lower left. And now I've started 3 more pieces I'm going to use this palette now. And I just want to thank you, because this has sort of like shifted things for me. And I'm really, really excited. Like, do you see how you're giving a story? And it's true, a story around the piece of art that person involved themselves. It's a collaboration. So it's like, thank you for this is cool, like what we've made together and what this means for me, right? They want that story, and how they feel about it is almost as much important as how it looks. Okay. Luciana saying, this is so timely. I'm just finishing gessoing a 60 by 48 inch for a first commission. I'm excited, but quite daunted too. Your perspective is gold. Yeah, good. I'm so glad. Wow, it's amazing. A couple people here are doing their commissions for the very first time. I'm so glad you saw this, because it's cool. It's going to be really, really fun. Great. Thanks, Bonnie. Good. I'm glad you got that. All right, guys. Well, good. Thanks for being here, and really, really fun to talk to you guys. And it makes me feel good when there's actually people in that position. Maybe it's like the new year. I think that's what it is. People who buy art, they're like, let's do something for our home this year. And they're all commissioning art. So that's why all these commission questions are coming up. Right. And that's what it's just happening. There's just a lot of people doing commissions. I just never even thought of that. But this is clearly something's going on here. So anyway, I'll circle back around if you guys have any questions, probably, in a few hours. But as usual, thanks for being here. And I will talk to you guys real soon. Okay, bye.